Can we change the people in our lives? Most will say no, you cannot change somebody. Most will think that they know that. But then it's hard when you're in a dynamic with somebody who intrigues you, somebody who you care about, somebody who you love, to actually put that knowledge into practice. And what I mean by putting it into practice is knowing when to stop, knowing when to take a step back, when to let go, when to love them from a distance, when to accept them exactly as they are, and or pull back altogether, cut them from your life or distance yourself. What I've found is that we can certainly be a source of motivation in somebody's life, inspiration. We can contribute to supporting somebody with their goals and in their growth, but ultimately the true source of transformation, not that it's just one point in time, the ultimate choice to see things through, to reflect, to introspect, to learn, to be curious, to sit with uncomfortable feelings and truths and knowings and theories. The ultimate choice to drink the water. They say you can bring a horse to the water, but you cannot make it drink the water. That comes from within the self. Anything outside of you, anything external, maybe you can rely on it, but it's not sustainable, and it's not ultimately, I think, in the long run, true. Even when it comes to religion or spirituality, you're putting your faith into something outside of yourself, sure. You're surrendering to something outside of yourself, yes. You're believing in something other than yourself and something higher than yourself. That is true. However, even in that equation, in that dynamic, it requires yourself to extend that hand. That trust is there to surrender because you're choosing to believe. It always comes back to us, to the self. Back to the horse. You can bring a horse to the pond. You can tell the horse, this is water. I used to dehydrate myself. I used to be parched. I know what it's like to be parched. I know that. And I know this is water. And I know it's good water. I've tried it before. You should try it too. You cannot make the horse thirst for that water. You cannot make the horse believe that it's water. You cannot make the horse believe that it's safe water. Whatever the case may be, whatever that water is for them, you just can't. You can only bring them to the water and tell them, this is water. This is what the water will do. This is what it could do for you. That's it. That's all you can do. When you are playing the support role in somebody's life, just ask yourself these questions. The person who you're supporting, the person who you're making efforts to push in a different direction, to teach something, you know, is this the type of person who has the capacity to take accountability? Is this the type of person who doesn't resort to escapism, denial, and comforts a lot of the time? Not that any of those things are inherently bad, it's just human. But is this what this person tends to indulge in? Do they know how to bring themselves back from the depths of hell? Sorry, that was probably really intense wording. I just mean, can they sit with uncomfortable truths and theories? And can they ponder on that? And can they receive feedback comfortably? And do they have an open mind? Do they think in a black and white sort of way? Because life is not black and white. Life is nuanced. A lot of life is nuanced. Okay? Yeah, so they have to have that curiosity, that dedication to growth. They have to be wired for improvement. Okay? Some people aren't. Whether it's forever or for most of their lives or for some of it. Okay? Whatever it is that causes them to transition from the stage of not being wired for improvement, not being open to it, to all of a sudden they're at the start of their path. You're not going to be the primary source of that. You can aid in the process of it, but that's all you can do. And you have to know when to let go and when to mind your business and when to accept the fact that this person, they need to figure it out for themselves. And you know what? For the good of all, and harm to none, for the good of all, for the best of all, that's probably the way to go anyways. I think that's where true long-term change occurs, right? The type of change that doesn't come back to bite you in the ass and say, hey, Are you sure you learned me? Are you sure you know me? Do you want to read me again? Do you want to watch me again? Do you want to experience me again? More like experience, yeah. Do you want to experience this lesson again? If somebody lives in a world of darkness and all of a sudden there's a light off in the distance, do they explore it? Do they walk towards it? Or do they cower? Or do they ignore? Or do they pretend? What type of person are you dealing with? Even for the people who show that improvement, who make that progress, you don't have to be there with them every step of the way. The horse could be actively going down to drink the water. I'm ready to drink the water. I'm gonna take a sip in like 2 minutes. I don't want to drink the water right now. Do you really want to stand there for like eternity or for the whole 2 hours and continue to urge them to drink it? Are you gonna drink it soon? When are you gonna do it? You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Like, know when your role is finished. Know when you need to allow this person to transmute that on their own, to transmute that inspiration that you've provided, that motivation, that knowledge, that wisdom, whatever it is. Allow them, let them, give them the opportunity to transmute that on their own. They might flunk it. They might. It's not your business. Something that someone could be thinking is like, well, I've had ex-partners or ex-friendships before where it ended, they left my life or I left theirs. And after the relationship, they got into a relationship with someone else and I heard that they treated them differently, or that person straight up came to me and confronted me about things and admitted things, admitted their faults, apologized for things, begged for whatever the case is, okay? Or you just physically witnessed this person forgo a change in their life. The next time you met them 2-3 years, whatever later, they were different and they were doing better in this way and that way and whatever the hell. Even in that instance, you were not the ultimate cause for that transformation. You just played a role. Something in their internal world or their physical environment caused them to shift in a way where their ability for an expanded perspective took place. Because if you were the ultimate source or cause of that, then how come they didn't drink the water while you were in their life, actively in their life? It happened after. And the reason for that, it was because it was on their time, quite frankly, right? If it was only you, if it only could have been you and your influence and your presence and your energy and your love and your support, if it could have only been those things, it would have happened on different terms. You cannot teach, love, or support somebody into change, into transformation. You can love, support, and teach yourself into change and into transformation. Everything else around you, everything external in your reality, it just contributes to that, right? It facilitates that. It doesn't enforce it. You enforce that at the end of the day. Everything else, it's just a facilitator.